students of ninth class. I'm back with my another video, and in this lecture I'm going to discuss lesson number 4 of your Beehive book, and the name of the lesson is A Truly Beautiful Mind. Alright, before we switch to the main story, first I would like to tell you what I am going to cover in this video. First, I will tell you the story in detail. Side by side, I will discuss the summary of the story also. Number 3, I am going to tell you the moral values of this story when I am going to discuss the story according to the paragraphs, right? Everything you will get side by side, right? And one more thing I would like you to add here, if you have not subscribed my channel yet, do subscribe my channel, right? Okay. So the main characters of the story, number 1, it is a story of Albert Einstein, right? Okay, the lesson starts with the word genius. What is the word genius? And what are the qualities of genius? The world was amazed in the summer of 26th November 1905 when a paper was published about light, the motion of particles, and the electrodynamics of moving bodies and energy. These are the theories which Einstein had brought before the world. Before that, right, we all were in confusion how these things were working, right? And we thought everything is happening with the wish of God. No doubt, everything is happening with the wish of God, but God also wants a human being should know the reasons. That's why God has made the most beautiful and most intelligent creature on this earth, that is human. He wants that humans should explore the world and try to find the reason behind everything, right? These papers change the understanding of space, time, and entire cosmos. If I ask you synonym of physics, the first word that comes into my mind, right? Physics is equal to Albert Einstein, right? Then I am going to start the story. Albert was born on 14th March 1879 in German city, right? And the name of the city is Ulm. When he was born, he was freak. Freak means different from others. Physically, you look different from others, right? And Albert Einstein was not a cute child, right? His head was so big as compared to his body, right? And his mother thought that my child is not very cute as compared to the other children, right? Till the age of 2.5, he did not speak. When he learned to speak, he uttered every sentence twice, right? And he used to speak every sentence 2 times. पहले तो वो 2.5 साल तक कुछ बोला ही नहीं, जिसके कारण उसकी मदर वरीड रहती थी. But when he spoke or when he started speaking at the age of 2.5, and he repeated the sentences, and he was usually called by his friends brother boring. He was very boring child. Actually, he had a big brain. It means that he was very intelligent, because our bodies are controlled by one machinery, right? That is the brain. And if my brain is big, it means that automatically I am more intelligent as compared to other students or other children. So the things what I am saying, that will not be known to the students of the same age or the children of the same age. So that is why the children of his age, they did not understand what Einstein was saying. So that is why he was addressing him brother boring, because he used to talk very boring things, right? And if I'm talking according to the dictionary of students, studies are boring, right? Okay, so let's continue with the story. In this story, there is one story is shared. One day, the family was dining as he was late topper, he broke his silence saying, "The soup is too hot." Right, and one day they were dining, right, and he said only one word, "The soup is too hot." He surprised his parents when he was asked the question, why did he speak earlier, right? He said that, "I did not speak because before that everything was in order, so that is why I did not think there is a need of speaking." Right, so here is one question that comes forward, like energy. Energy is very important. We acquire the energy in the morning, right? And as per our Hindu culture also, and we are asked to get up in the morning, and we should do the namaskara to the Surya Bhagwan or sun god, right? Because we think that the rays of sun, when they come to our mind, all right, or when we come direct contact with the sun rays, right, we get the energy. Like our brain is like a battery is charged, right? So energy, and we eat food also to get the energy. But the question that comes into my mind, where do we use that energy? Most of the people in the world, they use their maximum energy on worthless things. If we talk about the students, you keep on gossiping, keep on gossiping. When you are playing, you are using your energy positively, because you are doing something productive. When you are painting, when you are cooking in the kitchen, this energy is wasted, however, on productive things. But when you are just sitting, right, eating, not doing anything, watching television, surfing on your mobile phone, right, this is a wastage of your energy. And one more thing I would like to say you, that when you are gossiping, maximum energy you waste there. So here one lesson for the students, that always waste your energy. I'm sorry, I should not use the word waste. Always utilize the energies on productivity. You should have to, at the end of the day, you should have to calculate your productivity of the day. He always played with mechanical toys. You can say, you can think that the interest of Albert Einstein, he was very much interested in mechanical things, right? Even when his sister was born, he asked only one question to his mother, "Where is the wheel of my sister?" Right, so you can understand about the interest. A man excels only in that field where he finds or where he develops his interest. So whatever you are doing, do it with interest. Don't do it without interest, because if you fail to develop an interest into education also, the product will not come, and the result or the outcome will never be according to your wishes, right? Okay, now another thing I would like here to add, number one thing is rote learning. What is rote learning? Rote learning is cramming. Do not cram the things, right? When you cram the things, you learn the things by heart. But this learning stays in your brain for a short period. But if you want that the things should stay in your brain for a longer time or permanently, you should develop your logical and reasoning power. Whenever you do anything, right, do it with interest and learn from the core of a thing, right? And another thing I would like to add here, do not delay your work. Most of the students has been observed that they are delaying their work. For example, I'll do it tomorrow, okay, I'll do it in the evening, I'll do it after 2 hours, I'll do it after 10 minutes. You are, or you have wasted your own time, right? So do not delay your work. Every day, whatever is taught to you, do it, right? And no one can judge anyone's potential. We form our opinions according to one day to day behavior. So here, this is this thing that will clear to you according to the Next paragraph. Once is his headmaster stated to his parents he would never succeed, because as I have already told you that he was not very intelligent child, right? He was not very intelligent child because he never crammed the things. But a child can excel anytime. This is another thing you should note down. A child can excel anytime, right? He also learned playing violin from the age of 3 because his mother wanted him to learn. He went to Munich and secured good marks almost in all the subjects, but he always argued with his history teacher because he was against rote learning. So the concept of rote learning has been explained, right? He always says that there is not any point learning dates, because if we talk about history, what do we do in history? We are learning or cramming the dates. He always right, and if one does not know the dates, his ability cannot be judged. If I am not good in learning dates, you cannot say that I am not intelligent. He was against the regimentation of the school, and he was also against the discipline or the curriculum, because there are so many things in my curriculum, right, which is a wastage of time. That is his opinion, right? He left the school at the age of 15. Then he shifted to Milan. He was highly gifted in mathematics and physics, and physics and mathematics, you know that they are related to each other. He was highly interested in physics. Whenever you learn anything, go at the core of everything. This is also added earlier by me, right? Always raise the questions, because when you raise the question, it means that you are learning better, right? So he went to study at the University of Zurich. When he went to the university, he attracted towards a girl named Milvia Mark. She was also a scientist. So Zurich was the only university where women can also get their postgraduate degrees. Both were studying on relativity. At the age of 21, he graduated, but he remained unemployed. He worked as a teaching assistant, and in 1902, he secured a job in the patent office in Bern. He was secretly developing his ideas, and his desk was called Bureau of Theoretical Physics. You will be amazed to know that he derived so many theories, right? But he himself never proved it. That now you can judge the potential of his intelligence, that his imagination power is so powerful that he calculates the things in the brain and he can imagine the result also. When the theories are researched by other scientists, the accurate result has come. That's, he amazed the world, right? Power of imagination, power of his brain, that I have already told you. In 1905, his papers were published on Einstein's special theory of relativity. So, what is Einstein's special theory of relativity? Right. According to this theory, time and distance, they are not absolute. He has given one example also. If you set the two clocks at the same time, one clock must be running faster as compared to the other clock. For example, yours and my watch, both of us, we set our watches at 9 o'clock, but when at the end, right, we calculate, it might be in your watch 9:10 and in my watch 9:10.1 second, right? So this is the theory. All right, so E is equal to mc square. E here energy, C speed of light in the vacuum, and m is mass. He has given us another example, right, to prove his theory. He is saying that when you are sitting with a beautiful girl, the 2 hours seem to 2 minutes. But if you have been asked to sit on a hot pan, the 2 minutes seem to you to 2 hours, right? And third thing, in this story, what we have come to know that everyone has to go through difficulties during the journey of life. Life of anyone, it's not easy, but whenever we are looking at the personalities, the genius personalities of the world, we assume that their life must be very easy, they get the success very easily, but this is not the real picture of life, right? Life of everyone is not easy. You have to see the ups and downs, and you have to bear the ups and downs of your life. And there were so many ups and downs, they came into the life of Albert Einstein also, but he was never ever been shaken by the ups and downs, because you have been blessed only with one life. Utilize it properly and never ever leave your objective of life. So what was the objective of his life? Right, what was the objective of his life? To give theories to the world, right? So that their life, so that the people or the students, they learn the reason behind everything, right? So when he was tackling with difficult equations, his private life shuttered. So he was also facing so many difficulties into his life when he married Milvia. And one thing, she was 3 years elder to Albert Einstein. His mother did not like Milvia, and he advised his son not to marry Milvia because she was not a good girl for you, and she was also as intelligent as you are. It might be possible you are not going to have a healthy married life. But Albert Einstein, right, he wanted to marry, so both of them, they got married and they had two sons, right? After that, as I have already mentioned, that Milvia was also a scientist. They were working on theories of relativity. So with the passage of the time, Milvia fell into depression because he thought that my life has been finished. I utilized my maximum time in bringing up my children. So that is why she went into the depression, and she wanted to pursue her career, and she thought that with the family she would not be able to pursue her career, so she divorced Albert Einstein, right? Then meanwhile, right, and in 1919 his another theory came, general theory, right? General theory. An eclipse of the sun in 1919 has brought accurate result, give us a new interpretation of gravity, right? Einstein had calculated in advance extent to which the light from fixed stars would be deflected through the sun's gravitational field. The newspapers proclaimed his work as a scientific revolution, right? And then when he meanwhile, when he got divorced from his first wife, he remarried, right, with his cousin Elsa, right? And after that, in 1921 he was bestowed with Nobel Prize in Physics. Now comes this story of Germany. Germany is known as Nazis. Nazis is equal to Hitler, right? When Hitler came into power in 1933, right? We all know that the Second World War started in 1939, right? So the Nazis came into power and they started killing the Jews. Actually, Hitler was against the Jews because Jews had crucified Jesus Christ, and Nazis, they were Christians and they worship Jesus Christ, and that is why Hitler was against the Jews and he wanted to kill all the Jews, and all the Jews were highly troubled, right, under the leadership of Nazis, right? Then he himself went to America, United States of the world, and the news was spread all around the world that the Nazis, they had discovered nuclear bombs, and Americans, they were so afraid of, they also started working off nuclear, and they also invented the atom bombs. When atom bombs were invented, being a follower of brotherhood and peace, Albert Einstein wrote a letter to the current president, and I will tell you the name of the president. All right, one second. Uh, right, I will tell you the name of the present scientist. Right, letter to Franklin D. Roosevelt, right, in 1939, and he told him that if atoms were used in any war, it will destroy the entire earth, right? But his letter was not considered by the American president, right? And the atoms were used in Second World War, and you can see the atom bomb was thrown by America on Japan's city Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and this city was totally destroyed, and it changed into a desert, right? After the World War, right, he was involved, or he was active in politics also, but he always spread one message, that we should encourage the peace around the world, and we should be the followers of brotherhood. We should love each other, right? And we should learn the things logically, and we should develop our logical as well as reasoning power. So that is the end of the story, right? And thank you guys. One thing I would like to tell you, that I have one exercise for you also. Do it, and if you have any problem doing any question, leave a message for me in the comment box the moment I see your message, and I will reply you back. Thank you.